Today is going to be awesome. We're firing up the wash plant for the very first time. We're going to put water through it as well for the first time. And if all that goes okay, we're going to put pay dirt through it for the very first time.
Oil, the sacred lubricant. We're just doing the last minute oil changes on all the equipment before we take it out. Today's the first day we're going to be putting some dirt through the plant. So we're going to quickly change the oil in these and then get loaded up and get to the bush. Oh, geez. This is our main water pump for sluicing. We have two of the same ones. One is to sit down at the freshwater and one is to sit at the pond. Oh, that sounds terrible. This thing's like, based on that grinding that we just heard, like unless that's just in the pump, like a bit of sand and grit in the pump there maybe. Sounds like the engine's gonna be blown pretty quick, but at least it's turning over. That's enough to keep us going. You know, this is just plastic, so you'd break it, so that's why I took it off. Put a big wrench on the crankshaft so that I could actually turn it and just to free it up, and it actually sounds pretty good now. At least the motor's not blown. This motor has less than an hour on it. It's a brand new, like $550 pump. There it is. That's slow. Yeah. Everything needs to be maintained and replaced. And if you don't do a certain amount of maintenance before the winter and you put the stuff away, it just doesn't work the next time you need it. Kaboom! That one is ready now. We are officially oil changed on all our stuff that we needed to do this morning. Now we just got to put it in the back of the truck. It's still nice and early, which is beautiful. And we are officially ready to pull out and get up to the claim so we can try to make some gold. All right, we're here now. It's the most exciting day yet. We're gonna quickly level and set the angle of the sluice box. Then we got the blocks to tap in. We got one last hose fitting to put on to get the fresh water from the creek to the plant. And then it'll be just a bit of running the pump down to the creek and putting out some lay flat. And I think that's it. So I just gotta start tackling shit one at a time, I suppose. So we got the torch and the hose clamps. We got one last hose fitting to put on to get the fresh water from the creek to the plant. It takes a surprising amount to actually get it warm enough. It's not warm enough until you brown it a little. It's kind of like chicken. You know it's ready when it's squeezable. Even a little more than that, honestly. And I'm sure by overheating it like this, it probably makes it a little more fragile too. Oh yeah, that's more like it. See how easy that is? Like you can actually see how it's actually tapering over the ridges. Like the fact it's so hot, it really makes for a good seal. I like to cinch the clamp while the hose is hot. Okay, that is ready to accept fresh water, and that's one job done. Okay, which is the one? When you build these yourself, like you can measure, but it's never exact. So I got a 65, a 66, a 67, and a 68. So let's go with the 67. And I think if it doesn't fit, then the 68 will be perfect. That's a bit tight. I'll just... Okay. That's the belt on, so good thing we had it. I didn't know if we did. Thank you. So this keeps it so you don't accidentally get your hand into this shaker weight. And then so no rocks drop on the belt or the shaker pulley or anything like that. And this would be so dangerous just spinning without any protection. You could just reach up and get smacked, like, oh, it would rip your fingers right off. So It's crucial, and then you don't want to drop a rock on it or something by accident, or even sand. It would be flicking sand everywhere. So this goes on here like so. Protects that from happening. After this safety screen goes on, I got one more large one right here. And then we can get the generator situated, as well as then start setting up the pump, and then I think that's it. Oh, we gotta set the angle on the sluice box, that's right. And then we are ready to put some dirt through it. The mesh isn't squishing down on the carpet properly. It needs to be pushed down like it is at the edges. My 2x4s aren't squishing the middle down. So the water can shoot underneath right now, which is gonna make it not work. It's a total problem. Any suggestions from the people out there how to get the middle to squish down? You can see it, like even my body weight is not enough. Oh man. These blocks as well were measured when there was no carpet in here. Details. The trommel sunk in a little bit, so the trommel's lower to start with, and now I've already lowered the sluice box as low as it'll go, and it's dead flat. I can't get the slope on it. If it's supposed to be an inch for every foot, well, it's got to be 10 inches a drop. I don't even have 10 inches. I got maybe just 10 inches, and I would have to dig the feet right into the dirt. These are all problems. Without totally moving the plant out of the way and rebuilding the pad like another 1.5 feet higher, I have no choice but to dig the feet down for the sluice box to lower it. It's kind of dumb because it's gonna be right at the ground level now, but I got no other choice for now. So I'm just gonna move these rocks with the excavator and make a little ditch here so that the tailings and the water can flow back to the pond, and then just with a hand shovel, try to quickly dig the feet down a bit. Okay, that looks actually pretty cool. I feel like this might actually be the answer. Awesome. Okay, next thing we got to do is just dig those feet down and get that actual angle on the sluice. So, awesome. It's looking good. Okay. That's like 8 or 9 inches right there, so try lowering it down. Okay, that's got to be getting pretty good. Okay, shut the machine off quickly. So this whole apparatus I built here is to keep the rain off the switches. And these are the switches for the trommel and the shaker. And you know, you don't want to run up to them in the rain and have them soaked and then try to turn the power off. Okay, now the switches are in there. Should just fire up each thing when it's ready. Get the key for the generator. Okay, fingers crossed there's some battery life in this. Yes. So this will be the first time I've actually fired up the wash plant using a generator and not power in my own shop. So fingers crossed it's got the wattage and the amperage to take that start up without blowing a breaker. This could be a deciding factor whether we sluice today or not. So let's see how it goes. We'll fire up the shaker first. We're gonna actually test the trommel and the shaker first while we got the generator running now, just to make sure it all works fine, because if it doesn't, there's no point in even hooking up the pump. If everything goes okay, then we're gonna shut it off, we're gonna get the water running, adjust the valves, and then get the whole thing going at once. And then the only next thing is to put some dirt through it. So the shaker seems to be working fine. Just joking. It's definitely struggling with the power to turn the trommel. That is no good. It might be wet. It started to go, but it's struggling a bit, eh? Just gonna try it again. Hopefully we don't burn anything out. Definitely not what we wanted. I wanted it to just fire up and be going full power, no problem. Definitely struggling with the power to turn the trommel. That is no good. I turned off the shaker, and now we're just gonna try the trommel on its own to see if the shaker motor's taking too much power. That seems pretty decent. I don't know what it's gonna act like once it's got the weight of gravel in it. I'm leaning towards that my generator's not powerful enough, or I might just have to run a second generator for the shaker. But I'm gonna try firing up the shaker now that the trommel's turning. It's a perfect speed though, it looks great, nice and quiet. Let's get the pump in place. I'm gonna put it at the far end of the pond, as far away from the tailings as possible. I'm still so glad to be using small pumps. These things are child's play compared to the big mines. We put a rope on like this to keep it from sinking to the bottom. I will set up a float sometime. I just need the time to build it. I don't want to lose this, so I'm gonna put it on now. Okay. Damn. Damn, I really wanted the ice to hold it. No good. Yeah, I don't know if it's long enough, but it might do the job. If I can get this to go in there, yeah, this might work. I think that'll do. There's so much snow, it's just melting like crazy. That's never been such a big puddle. Wonder if I should try going around the whole way around, I guess. Hopefully none of these hoses have leaks in them. Okay, I think there's a 25 footer there. That should be about perfect to get to that. I'll close all the valves that we don't need open so that we don't get a mess going, and I'll just make sure that the sprayers are open. It might take a little bit to get the pump to take a prime because we're pumping up a hill. I've had trouble with these 3 inches before. They don't prime very easy. You need a foot valve. It sure helps, but I have one. It's just not on. So we're gonna try without it today. I am sweating. My heart is racing. Okay, I'll grab a bucket so we can prime the pump. Oh my gosh. Just one more thing to do. Okay, so when I fire up the pump, I got everything except for the spray bars in the trommel and on the shaker closed off. So as it takes a prime, we're gonna see the whole system pressure up, and then these sprayers are gonna come to life. For the first time ever, we're gonna see it all flow, collect in this tray and flow and start to come under the rubber mat and fill the sluice and begin the recirculation process. And then we should see it hit our little sump there and just continue right out there. So, fingers crossed this works all good, and the pump primes easily. These things are tricky to prime sometimes, and you see we're pumping a fair bit higher than the water itself, so it's actually got to draw it up to it before it can start to pressure up. Fills a lot of water all over the place, but that's not the end of the world. It's not handling the water volume, so this looks like too low a water flow. I better just get it out of the way before it starts the water flowing backwards. Well, we may as well try feeding it some dirt. So the water volume just isn't enough right now, and the grade on the hopper isn't enough right now to keep the gravel flowing through. The sluice isn't getting enough water either. I think I have no choice but to run a second pump to get the right amount of water in the sluice. And then maybe that'll help this get flowing better, but I don't think so. I think it needs to be steeper angle on the hopper to keep the gravel moving. It's jamming up. Well, it's good for a first day, but we definitely aren't just coming back to Sluice.
Each one of these weighs like that's 10 pounds. This looks like 20 pounds. Like, that's serious.
So we'll just finish cleaning this out. We'll take it home and we'll show you guys what we got for our first 1 yard test out at the mine. What a great day. Just filling up the trommel, and then I'm gonna clean up these concentrates, which are from 1 scoop of the new excavator worth of pay dirt. So there shouldn't be too much in there, but that goes to show what's in about 1 scoop. That's a fair bit of gold for just 1 excavator scoop. And 1 scoop is actually only, I think it's 0.7 yards is what it says for the 36-inch wide bucket. So 0.7 of a yard, we'll get a weight, do some math, and see what we got.